Hey folks, my name is Sir Medieval, and welcome back to another Bless video. Today we're going to be talking about more of a serious topic, what I think about the first week of Bless Online. First thing I'd like to do is extend my apology to all of you who had to suffer issues from the early access launch. There were more than a fair share of them. I know there might have been people who were expecting this to be a smooth as butter launch, without server queues, crashes, or game issues. I was definitely hoping this would turn out to be that game. But of course we know that MMO launches aren't always sunshines and rainbows, but anyway, let's get to it. Let's start with the negatives. Now, originally, I wanted to make a video, an in-depth one, going over the issues and my sort of rant as to why I personally have an issue with them, / how to fix them. But believe me, you don't have time to listen to that. And I've got a lot more content to make as well, folks, so let's just go ahead and squash this. So we had server queues, big server queues. We had server issues, crashes, characters being locked out, which prevented people from playing where they wanted to play, guilds being locked out, friends, family, that kind of thing, maintenances, a lot of those during the day. So many new servers. It started out with one for each and ended up with like six plus by the end of the second day. There was a lot of bugs. There was optimization issues. There was your FPS was capped out by default. Your cores were locked by default. There was quest issues like the journal. I heard about Antonio's journal, I believe it's called, where the Union was trying to gather that for a quest, and there was like 200 Union players like in one room trying to gather it because it only spawned every 10 seconds. There was no action combat for any of the classes except Berserker, and apparently on the Berserker it seems to be the class doing the worst with it. They're in a really tough spot right now. There was camera issues, like your camera would zoom in and out automatically. You couldn't zoom it out all the way. It was very annoying. It was like the Japanese version, basically. There was the test server thing that we asked for a test server before launch. We really hoped for one. If we had a test server, we probably would have squashed a lot of these bugs, but we'll go into that a little bit later here. There was balancing issues, like the mage, for instance. I absolutely hate the skill to death. There's this chilling frost skill that you basically can just spam. You don't have to continue your combo because there's no cooldown. It hits for like 3k a second. You've probably been hit by it and killed by it. If you saw a mage spamming that, that's what it was. It definitely needs to be nerfed. It's annoying. Like, it's to the point where if you're fighting another mage and you're trying to use a proper combo, that you just see that and you're like, okay, screw it, I'm switching. Guardian's up next. Guardian is good, and the DPS balance is great. I didn't expect this though. Like when they do the actual ground pound, like when they knock you up, put you on the ground, and then shield bash, that shield bash is going to take at least 80% of your health. Doesn't matter like how geared you are right now, that you're going down. Like, the Guardian is extremely powerful right now, which is good to see, but at the same time, I don't think that one skill should be that powerful. So that definitely needs some balancing as well. The Paladin early game is atrocious right now. You use so much mana. Like, I tried it yesterday while I was leveling an enchanting ult, and in about 3 skills, you're out of mana. I've seen people talking about this as well. I don't know how it is late game, but early game Paladins definitely have a rough time. And I know for a fact Berserkers do too, because nobody wants to play Berserker right now, which is a shame because it was one of the most popular classes. Going to be one of the most popular classes, but yeah, Berserker's in a tough spot right now, all the way through, from early game to end game. They have a lot of clunkiness going on, the camera issue, of course. There's all kinds of stuff happening. The Ranger I haven't even tried yet. I don't know how the Ranger does right now, but I have to imagine it's doing better than Paladin and Berserker. There's combat issues, like a noticeable delay. There's a lot of times, like when you're a mage, for instance, you cast your AoE combo, like the second skill in your combo might be an AoE. If you don't cast it right away, then what happens is you can't use it. You can switch targets and try it, can't use it still. You have to use another combo entirely, which messes up your chain. And if you're in PvP, that's going to give them more of an opening to take you out. So yeah, that really is bad as well. There's the lack of content, of course. Basel's Canyon, Arena, Battlegrounds were missing, like mobs in Basel's Canyon. Dungeon gear was missing supposedly, but we know why. Apparently, they didn't want us to get too far ahead of everybody else in terms of the Battlegrounds and Arenas, which makes sense. We had level 45s within the first 24 hours or so. We got there really quick. And then, of course, there was translation issues. There was... I mean, it was all across the board. People were getting stuck in the tutorial. I mean, personally, I didn't get stuck in the tutorial. I kind of knew what it wanted, but that might have come from also playing at the press event and kind of getting an understanding of it. But I do have issues like with the stances for their description and whatnot, and some of the parameters as well. It's very unclear. It's very vague. So some of them, I don't understand what's going on there. But there was also server population issues. Like, the server was so big, there was people everywhere. Like elite mobs are just not a thing you can really farm efficiently anymore. If you go to an elite mob, more than likely you're going to see like 6 dubbed up people trying to steal it, or you're going to see like a Zerg going on right there. It's just they're everywhere, and we absolutely need more channels. Absolutely, positively. Turbans even are now a rare commodity. You probably, if you find a turban, you basically struck gold, and they're only worth like 3 gold per basically. So unless you have the gathering fruit that allows you to gather instantly, but more than likely you won't. And then of course there was the refund exodus. There was a lot of refunds going on, and then as soon as the video started coming out that said, hey, you can have your refund, you can still get your refund, get it while you can, it just built up and spiraled, and then here we are basically. So a vast array of issues, to say the least. Now, several of these issues have either been fixed, can be fixed with a little effort from you, or they are currently being worked on. Like the capped FPS/camera issues, for instance. NeoWiz has been doing a great job at attacking these issues and releasing quick fixes and maintenances for some of them. But there's also a Bless FPS Reddit guide that you can search up that'll lead you to the config files of the game and help you with that. I'll also put a link in the description just in case for you. I will admit I've already done this, and I've seen at least a 40 value increase in my FPS outside of cities. And my camera looks so much better now, so much better. There aren't that big of server queues anymore, also probably because of the mass refund exodus that was going on. Not nearly as many maintenances or character lockouts now, which is good. Quest issues and the lack of content, they're working on fixing that. Hopefully the Basal's Canyon as well, because we need those mobs in there. They just added the 15v15 arena today, so hopefully that turns out well for us. It looks good so far. It does. I'm not excusing that these issues were far and wide, though, and that this just scratches the surface of how the game turned out. It would have really been nice if we did get that that test server before early access. Even with the 100 or so emissaries that there were of us, or even 20 of us, we would have found these issues and relayed them to the dev team to squash, guaranteed. But of course, it's far too late, so here we are. There's still reasons that I have hope for Bless, that some positives about the game, and why I want to see it succeed. The first being that I'm an emissary. I say that as because I've never seen an opportunity or had one to communicate with the development and staff team to try and help mold a game into an enjoyable experience for everybody. Whether or not they continue to listen to us, that of course remains to be seen. But all we can really do is hope right now. Not to mention, it's been a very long time since we've had a decent MMORPG experience on the market. I know both you and I are tired, absolutely tired of MMO shopping. Whether Bless drudges through the mud and comes out squeaky clean, or falls right off the rails and rams into a massive ditch, I personally have to try. So here's the positives. The game's not pay to win. We analyzed it up and down. There were no pay-to-win elements in there. Absolutely not. There was slight convenience, but that was it. It doesn't matter once you get to 45 because we're all capped out right now. Stances aren't even in the game at the moment. Stance level, sorry. And then you can't even unlock those last 2 stances. The majority of the good items that you can buy as well come from the PvE currency shop, the Adventure Point shop, and the Honor Point shop for PvP. Which brings me to my next point. The game actually rewards you for PvP and PvE rather than punishing you in one area or both. Yeah, the dubs can be annoying sometimes, but who cares? We'll have battlegrounds, we'll have arenas, Basal's Canyon when they hopefully implement all the world bosses. We'll have PvP for days. That's really all we need. And the dubs can't be used in Basal's Canyon as well, which is very nice. Combat has potential as well. They need to fix the delay, of course. There seems to be some clunkiness there, and adding action combat for all the classes as well would be really nice and classic for the Berserker. The dungeons are fun, although a little easy right now and get boring fast due to lack of loot, but they do provide a challenging aspect that we all need alongside the combat system to at least keep us semi-engaged. And the loot does drop from the dungeons, like we did get gear pieces in Turris. People are still getting gear pieces in there, but it's far more profitable to just run Kobold Hold for the blue gear, ruin that up, and then go straight to Deadmine's Heart. That's simple as that. The World PvP is exhilarating, though. World PvP absolutely got me pumped. Like 2 days ago, I was roaming around with Doc Got Games Raid and fighting Union, and yesterday we defended a field boss from them as well. Absolutely amazing experience. Felt just like the early days of ArcAge or a really good fight over a grind spot in BDO. You're rewarded for the PvP or PvE aspects as well. The Dungeon Point shop I absolutely love. The dungeon, it helps you so much in so many aspects, and when doing raids, all the dungeons, monster book hunts that we're going to be doing, I'm sure you'll love it too. This game also hits both of those niches that are needed, PvP and PvE, with the balanced amount of content that it has. developer self-publishing. So NeoWiz, because it's standing on its own, that means that they do have the power to fix this. They have the power to listen to us and introduce the feedback as changes into the game. It's definitely a rare thing to see. This doesn't cover all the points that I actually do like about the game, but it does give you a general idea. Now, in terms of the question, should you buy the game or not, I am 100% not going to answer that. You should decide based off of your own opinion, your own outlook of how you think the game will turn out, not anyone else's. As far as what I think about this launch, this is definitely, in my opinion, and feel free to quote me on this, is absolutely, positively, without a doubt, what was classified as a bad launch. No ifs and buts about it. I support the game. I love NeoWiz the company, but it was a bad early access launch. Bless is in a rough spot right now, but it's trying to recover. Let's move on. Simple as that. We'll keep trucking, and if you're still interested in supporting the game, more power to you. Keep an eye on it. Jump right in if you want to. It's up to you. I can certainly recommend it for the base price of $29.99 for the time that you can get out of it. In the future, we might even be able to recommend the higher packages as well. If you're not and you want absolutely nothing to do with the game, I completely understand, and I appreciate you so much for watching. I do want to apologize again for whatever reason that was caused for you not to play. But again, folks, that's it. Here we are. And so now we'll find out what the future holds. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night or day. I'll see you next time. Later, folks.